Hello, Voiders, and welcome to a fresh edition of I Hate Sundays. Starting on a Saturday. I don't even know what's going on this weekend, so let's just find out where the day will take us. Oh, by the way, at some point in the last 2 weeks, I saw the murder of Nicole Brown Simpson, which was directed by Danielle Ferrand, the same guy who made The Haunting of Sharon Tate. And I don't even want to talk about it because the movies this guy is making are just so disrespectful and like beneath all sort of dignity that's even thinkable. So I'm just gonna go out there and not say anything about this because I don't want to give this guy any attention whatsoever and give it a fucking 0 out of 10, making it the worst movie of 2020 so far. Now, I don't know what's going to be going on today. Let's find out.
What's going on outside? Nothing so far off the beaten path. We get taken for a ride. Politics want to win. It end up the city to think that the one you love that hurts you now is a little hard to believe. Everybody, darling, sometimes bites the hand that feeds. Time, don't let it slip away. Raise your drinking glass. Here's to yesterday. So now I'm at the whiskey, watching these motherfuckers roll. It's fast times. They're pretty badass. They cover a lot of great 80s shit.
I can't do long tonight. My band's rehearsing, and I've been fucking way drunk the last couple of days, and gotta keep my shit together, y'all. And like tomorrow we're rehearsing, and I want to read you something for you guys. I don't even know what the fuck we're doing. Gonna try to get an advanced screening of The Lodge, but kind of nobody really gives a shit about that movie. And it's kind of tough organizing screenings while you have to do 2 band practices with your band before your show on Friday. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, we have a show on Friday. Yeah, that's happening. So I'm gonna be a nice little void tonight. I'm gonna go home. And I'll see you tomorrow. Fresh ass day. No, I'm not hungover. No, I am on my way now to rehearsal. We have a show next weekend, so that's what you'll be seeing in the next episode. Next to the Razzies. Oscar weekend's next week. Yeah. Let's drive off, and I might even show you like a new song or two you might have missed from that you haven't heard yet. Okay. I hope I nailed both solos. Because I gotta play solos at the show. But now comes that part in the Sunday where we review a movie, and this time we're going to see The Lodge. So we're going to ArcLight. It's gonna be fun, and I'm really hoping that this is gonna be the best movie of the year, because January has been a fucking disaster. So this week we are going to see The Lodge. And January's been a very huge disaster when it comes to movies in 2020. So I am literally, since it's the first movie we're seeing in February now, expecting the very best. The very best, like the very best this year has to offer. For fuck's sake. Everything was so horrible so far. This movie's directed by none other than the person who also wrote and directed Goodnight Mommy. An Austrian film that really, really impressed me. I was not like expecting that quality film when I saw it for the first time. So I think this time they got a little bit more budget going on, and I think they have the material to like make something really big happen here. And I'm very lucky to see this, because this is a small release. There's going to be a wide release in a couple of weeks, so I'm glad to be able to report you guys about it. So let's go in and find out if this is going to be the best movie so far of 2020. Let's hope for the best, everybody. Let's hope for the best. Oh my god. Whew. Now that was one delightful bleak motherfucker. Holy shit. We have a lot to talk about, guys. Oh my god. Jesus. Okay, this is definitely the best movie of the year so far. We can say that in all appreciation. A very bleak, beautiful little mess this was. I must say so myself, I loved it. But oh boy, let's talk about this. So, Severin Fiala and Veronica Franz have done it again to make something truly, truly disturbing. And guys, if you thought Goodnight Mommy was disturbing, you have no idea what this was. Like, holy shit. I still like really can't catch my breath just how fucked up this was. It like totally screwed with my head. So generally, this movie basically begins as the tale of a broken home. You're kind of like, you have a family, one young boy and one even younger girl, and their father wants to get a divorce from their mother, and their mother can't really take that and decides to kill herself. So some time passes, and he decides to bring the kids and his new girlfriend to a lodge out in the mountains. And then because of some business trip has to leave them alone. And that is where things get truly, truly fucked up. Let's start off talking about pacing. You know, there's some kind of a magic you can achieve with a slow-paced movie. See, there's those slow-paced movies where you're just sitting there thinking, oh my god, when the fuck is something finally going to happen? See Midsommar, for example. That's one of those. But there's also those very slow-paced movies that use their pacing as this little trick, where you're actually constantly asking yourself questions. Through the slow pacing, you are constantly asking yourself, what is really going on? Is there something supernatural behind this? Is this some kind of a weird, sick joke somebody's trying to pull on your characters? And this is one of those. It really works. Like, it is incredibly slow, but the fact that the movie is so slow sort of puts you on the edge of your seat. It sort of also, like, is admirable just how well the film uses lighting and certain shots to create realism here. There's very little movement in the camera generally, and the scenes are always so perfectly lit, like you feel like you are really part of the situation. And sometimes they would just take like a moment to zoom on a jar or a pill being dissolved in some water or something like that, somewhere where you're just really like put into the atmosphere of the situation and of the film. And something like that, I personally, the only movie in my life I saw perform that so perfectly was Call Me By Your Name. This is the kind of movie that, like, from the way it is shot, you can like sense the feeling these characters are in, the smells that are surrounding them. It really does a good job on focusing on certain things, just so you as the audience can place yourself in the position of the characters themselves. The dialogue feels very natural and doesn't come off as forced. It's like you would expect these general conversations between these between these people, especially in such a bleak surrounding like our characters are in this film. It's not like how I'd talk to you guys because we're here in Happy Hollywood, but like people in the mountains who just lost a family member would talk. Yeah. The film is very slow-paced, as I mentioned before. They really take a lot of time to introduce everybody to the characters and to the premise of the film. I think Act 1 of the movie alone is just there to set up the premise and for us to meet our characters. It almost feels like a separate movie on its own when you just take a look at the first act. And starting on from the second act and the third act, you're pretty much in that set universe this movie wants you to be. And it works really well. Like I mentioned, the pacing, it's brilliant. But it does feel a bit exhausting when we hit the ending. When we're down to the last licks of the third act, it does get a bit exhausting. It does feel like the movie should have ended a little while ago, and that they're just like pressing this on you. But it's also kind of what they wanted to do. They kind of wanted you to feel a bit tortured at the end, if I'm honest. The bleakness really gets to you, and the final moments of the movie are very jarring and very much disruptive for the heart and soul, if you dig what I'm saying. The performances here are quite flawless. I especially gotta hand it to the child actors here. There's good child acting performances, but these ones, they were fucking phenomenal. Like Jaden Martell, yeah, that's his name, and what's her name? Leah McHugh do an amazing job. And I don't know why are we constantly talking about child actors. It's like every single movie that is made involves children recently. But movie trends, Hate him or love him, I don't like this one that much. Riley Knew does a great job at portraying Grace, and we also get to see a bit of Alicia Silverstone at the beginning of the movie, and I always loved her as an actress, and I would have actually wanted to see a bit more of her in this. I also have to admit that there are moments in this film where you kind of notice that they took some inspiration from Ari Aster, or let's say even more specific, Hereditary. It works. It works very well. Like, you can borrow these ideas. These ideas aren't so obvious that they take you out of the movie and that you feel like it's a complete Hereditary ripoff, but there are some borrowed ideas, I gotta admit that. But it's not uncomfortable. I just sometimes wish that these talented writers and directors would have just like relied on their own style without having to borrow something from Ari Aster, because I personally like their own style a lot more than the stuff Ari Aster produces, but to each their own, you know. I'm not that big of a fan of his movies, but I'm also not saying that they're shit. I completely understand the appeal. But I think anybody who loves an Ari Aster movie is definitely going to love this one. And it is a lot darker than The Goodnight Mommy, if you believe me. Because that's also kind of hard to believe, since that was already very dark in itself. This really isn't a movie that is for everyone. But if you are a fan of bleak, slow-paced horror and movies that give you a surprising twist and really fuck with your head, you're gonna love this. I completely recommend it for you. But it is slow, be warned, and it is disturbing, so be warned about that too. I'm gonna be so kind. It's not a masterpiece, but it is a great film, nevertheless. And I will be so bold and give this movie a 7 out of 10, which makes it the best movie I have seen in 2020 so far. But guys, we're just in February. I wonder how it's going to look like in 2 months. So yeah, check this out by all means. This is like, I would recommend you see this either in an empty theater, preferably old empty theater, or when you're home alone in the dark. Yeah, that's the best setting to see this. Yeah, check it out. It's badass.
You have nothing to be scared about.
Now let's look at our chart. Yep, we have a new number one spot in the 6 films that we've seen this year. It wasn't really hard to beat the other ones, but still, this is a very good entry for 2020. Gotta say. So, my dear exploiters, let's close off the Sunday. Wish me luck on my show next week, because I gotta play a lot of guitar solos. See you then. Bye-bye.
Go to drugs, go to school, 'cause it's cool to be a lawyer or a doctor. Don't give a fuck about your life, fuck it up, yeah. Wasted potential every day, that's how I roll. You don't even look at me, 'cause I'm a motherfucking troll. You don't care, you don't see me. I don't give a fuck living life, that's how we be.